On this spooky Halloween edition of Cheeky Tales, we're diving into a haunting. And for once, it's not John that you have to hear prattling on about some ghostly apparition. That's right, as we've been talking about for months now, I get to do a Halloween special. And I'll be covering the story of a family stalked for years by an entity capable of speech, moving stuff around, and shape-shifting. Starting in 1817, the family would be tormented by apparitions, noises, attacks, and ultimately, death. Coming to you straight from the history of Tennessee, this is the story of the Bell Witch of Adams.
Welcome to Spooky Spectacular number 3.
We're really on our third one.
Yep.
So spooky. Well, it's purple in this room, and we're wearing orange, the official colours of Spooktober. Man, I messed it up.
You messed it up already. It's not even the right month.
Straight to spooky jail.
This is why I've done it the last couple of times.
Spooky jail.
Straight to spooky jail.
Spooky
and
prison.
I've pulled out my headphone. What a start.
Now, jail, Jail or GOAL?
Goal.
Because in Australia, it's jail. G.
Well, it is now.
AOL? OLA. OAL.
No. OAL is goal.
Yeah. GAOL.
What a spooky time of year.
Boggo Road Jail. That is a spooky place.
Yeah, we should do a story on that at some point. Well, for once, it's me doing it, not you.
Yes.
For a change.
Good. I can sit here and neg the crap out of you.
I highly doubt you'll be able to. It's a great story.
No, I'm going to neg you so much.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get you.
Is that refreshing, boy?
So refreshing on a hot summer's day.
Yeah, even though it's nighttime, I'm sure it's still refreshing.
In November.
And the colours of Santa.
In Spookvember, apparently.
Go check out that episode.
Spookvember.
The history of Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Well, we're back.
We're back. I'm sick of that. Why do I do that?
We're back.
My boy. I hate how you do that every time.
My boy.
We do it at volleyball, and the person we do it for is completely lost on them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't get it.
Joseph has no idea.
Yeah, he's from Italy. I'm sure he's never watched Harry Potter. Yeah, good times.
I hate it. But it's like ingrained in me now that when you said it, I just immediately went to it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said the number 69 to me the other day. I did that without even thinking and went, oh, that's not good.
Yep. Nice.
You've
I don't want to do that at work.
What's the bell? The experiment with the bell?
Oh, yeah.
That made the dog.
Oh, Pavlov's dog.
Pavlov's dog.
Yes.
You Pavlov dogged yourself with 69.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Nice. Yeah,
Well,
say it. 69.
Nice.
69.
Nice.
69.
Anyway, what do we got to talk about? So many things. We're all in NFL jerseys. because
Bengals
they're
lost
all
again.
orange.
They're all orange, not really for any NFL reason. I've been watching more college football than I have been watching NFL.
You've been playing college football
I have.
on your Xbox.
I have. But the reason I've been watching it is also because the reason I've been playing it is because I've been watching it.
Do you know why he bought it and is watching college football?
Because he's a hipster.
Is so next year in the fantasy league, he's going to know all the college players in the draft and he's going to try and get a leg up.
That's
on
what
us.
he's doing. It's a long play.
Yeah,
For the next 5 years, he's going to be watching college football.
It's actually because a client in the barber shop said he watched it. I asked him why, and he goes, I want to watch football on Sunday instead of Monday when I'm at work. And I went, that's very, very accurate.
It is a lot nicer waking up on a Sunday and not being in the rush of getting ready.
Yeah. All the games start at 2 a.m. and they go through till about late lunch.
Yeah.
It's great. It's my day off. I can actually watch them. Whereas Monday, I can't watch them. I'm at work.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a nice touch.
And it's also like, it's sometimes great football and sometimes some of the worst football you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And both are brilliant.
Yeah. They're either a blowout or it's really quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking of football, you and I, we need to do our Madden Super Bowl.
We need, yes.
Yeah, you do need to do your Madden
We
Super Bowl.
committed to doing a full season where we, like, it was a franchise. So we got the whole league of players, put them all into a draft. We all picked our players and then played a full season. And now we're at the last game of the season, which is John versus me for the Super Bowl. And it has been 3 weeks and we haven't played it.
I'm also keen to start another season once we've sorted that.
Yes.
Now that we keep the momentum going and don't let ourselves slow down.
I think we should do that. seeing as someone mortgaged every draft pick to try and pick up players at the start of the season.
No, I did do that because I figured we weren't going to do another season.
No, I meant we'll start the draft.
Delete the
fresh.
whole thing. And
Delete the
start
whole
again.
thing. And start
So
again.
then I made the right decision.
Yeah, you made the right decision. Where's the fun in playing again? Like that's
Yeah.
less.
I don't
fun.
want to have to do all the team building. I
Yeah.
just want to pick a team.
Same
and play.
as fantasy every year. I get to
Yep.
start my draft fresh. I get to pick Brandon Ayuk again, like I do every year.
You'll like him watching.
We'll have to pick the same division teams. Anyway, let's get to the story. It's going on too long.
Oh, spooky.
Took your job.
Yeah, 30 seconds short.
Well,
It's called a good posting.
have either of you ever heard of this story?
No,
I think I have.
No,
Is it
not at
like
all.
one of the most haunted places in America?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things they say about all
Yeah,
of these. But yeah,
I think I have. I think it's.
you might have heard of this.
I
one.
think I've heard of the house
Yeah,
more than the entity.
As
or
someone
the
Yeah.
family.
as a skeptic, no, I haven't heard of this.
I'm also a skeptic. Let me be clear.
Now, I had a thought about this.
Yeah,
Right, let's just say hauntings are real.
Yep.
Spirits, when we pass on into spirits, we haunt places.
Mhm.
The whole idea is that we're tied to a certain place because of something. If we're not tied to a certain place, why aren't like celebrities' houses the most haunted places in the world?
yeah.
Like,
Wouldn't you just go?
why wouldn't you
check
go?
out
Why wouldn't you
Orif?
go and haunt Sydney Sweeney? Like,
That's exactly.
you just like,
you just chill it out.
yeah. Why are you haunting
Yeah.
some cracked out house like
Yeah.
in Tennessee when
Yeah.
you could be
Is it-
hanging out in Beverly Hills?
I just had that epiphany like a couple of weeks ago. Like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that?
And
Yeah.
if you are tied to a place, why is every hospital not the most haunted place in the world?
Because that's where the most people die.
Like the Bruce Highway would just be a highway of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
The Oregon Trail, literally a highway of dead bodies.
cut the Bruce Highway bit. That's too morbid. Too close to home. Too close to home.
Actually, I know we're trying to start, but we didn't talk about our favorite local suspension bridge being shut down.
What?
Yeah.
What? When did that happen?
Which favorite local suspension?
Andrew
bridge?
Pilly.
You weren't here for the Brooklyn Bridge episode.
yeah, but
we talked about that one and we're like, oh, it's right there.
the
We-
Billy Bridge is back open though.
yeah, it closed for a little while because it was getting repaired and they didn't give enough notice. So everyone was like, my bridge is closed.
We just at the end of that episode, we're like, do we have any suspension bridges locally?
Is
And
the
we're
Andrew Billy Bridge a strict suspension bridge?
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, it is. You'd know
Okay.
that.
Maybe learn a bit
if
about
one-
bridges, Sean.
You would know that if one, you were here for the episode, or two, you listened to your own goddamn podcast.
Yeah. I understand you not listening to the ones you're on, but the ones you're not on? Wow.
That's how
I listened to the ones I wasn't on.
Hey, I got this job.
That's one.
That's one episode.
Two.
I was in Cairns for one, and I was sick for another.
Oh, you were a guest on the Cairns one though. We called you.
Yeah, you were a guest on your own podcast.
I still watched it to see how I appeared.
By the way,
Awkwardly.
I've been
awkwardly
on-
holding the laptop. That's how
I've been
it was.
on multiple video calls with Cheesy since that day.
still shirtless.
He's never got a shirt
Never
on.
got a shirt
That
on.
man
Never got a shirt on.
never wears a shirt.
Our phones are there, but if we were video calling him right now,
He would have no shirt. We're not calling him. All right, so the Bell Witch. Unlike most ghost stories, this one didn't start with an unsuspecting family buying a grand mansion for a steal, immediately experiencing ghosting attacks until they sell their house to the next victim. No. The Bell family of Robertson County had owned their home alongside the Red River near modern Adams, Tennessee since 1804. They were farmers, and John Bell had become one of the wealthiest farmers of the area, primarily off the back of the slaves he owned who worked his land. The family were Baptist and were well known within their local Baptist church, with John being an elder. The family consisted of Father John, Mother Lucy, and their children Jesse, Drury, John Jr., Benjamin, Esther, Zadok, Betsy, Richard, and Joel.
Sadik.
Yes, Zadok. Z-A-D-O-K.
Oh, Zadik. Okay,
Yes.
that's a little bit better than Sadik.
Sadik.
Yeah, which is what I thought you said.
I do love that it's like 3 kids deep before you get to John Jr.
Yep.
Like the first 2, he's like, not quite up to my standard.
I think that was pretty common, wasn't it? Like the firstborn son, now modern wise gets the junior, but I think back a little bit, it was not kosher to have your firstborn named after yourself.
I have no idea.
I think it's
I
all
don't
kind of
think so.
silly. So I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of doing the junior or the second or the third thing.
Well, there is no the second because they're called junior. he goes junior, then the third.
Well, I mean, you could call yourself the second.
Yeah.
You could, but they don't. They call him
Patrick
junior.
Patrick
Mm.
Mahomes appears like as Patrick Mahomes the second,
Mm.
and then his son is the third.
How annoying after a while.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to give them a nickname because it's just annoying.
yeah.
Aaron the second.
A Apple.
Slappy the second.
Apple. Little slaps.
Yeah, Bonnie's already called Little Slap.
Little slaps.
Yeah,
Until her hair really comes in.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Rachel put a filter on her the other day when she was in her high chair. Mustache, bald head.
It was unsettling.
No
Unsettling.
paternity test needed.
No paternity test needed. Just look like a baby dressing up as me.
Yeah, baby cosplay.
It's like you've been put in the dryer too long.
Mm-hmm.
The Bell family had lived a largely normal life, working the land and selling their produce. But that would all change one afternoon in 1817 when John Bell was out walking with his favourite friend, his rifle. What?
That's his yawn count.
Oh,
It's just for cheesy.
so John's out walking with his
Yeah.
favourite friend,
The
little
rifle.
bang
Yeah.
bang, and saw a strange animal,
What caliber?
a big one.
What animal?
Well, at first glance,
Sugar glider.
it was a big black dog.
Ooh,
But as he paid attention to it,
Sirius Black.
he noticed that something was odd about its head. It had a rabbit head
It's a skinwalker.
with glowing red eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does sound like a skinwalker.
Be original. Why have they always got red eyes?
Well,
So many colors on the visible light spectrum.
But that's the
Like,
evil. Evil. Red eyes is evil.
They
either
do.
red or black, bro.
they were in monochrome.
Everyone.
It was 1817. It was black and white anyway.
Monochrome. That people
I
didn't
remember-
see in monochrome, you muppet.
I remember asking my dad once if people just walked faster in the past. Because you know how old-timey footage is always sped up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't a smart kid.
Wouldn't say you were smart now.
Yeah,
but,
now,
yeah.
yeah.
That's hurtful, you know?
Yeah, you ran in head first into that one. No,
I did
no
allow that to
helmet.
take place.
No helmet, mouth open, eyes crossed. Like you ran straight into that one.
That's why he asked stupid questions like that. Too much of that.
Being American, of course, John's first instinct was to open fire. And
Yeah.
while he took a number of shots, none of them hit.
Of course not.
And the animal ran away. Obviously, when he returned to the house, he expected to find that everyone thought he was crazy. But in fact, he found that a man named Dean, one of his slaves, had been stalked and attacked by a large black dog in recent days.
What was Dean's last name? Winchester?
Dean?
Oh.
Cheeky Tails says, no thank you to slave ownership.
Yeah, controversial, I know, but we don't agree with
Just-
slavery.
We just got to align ourselves before we get
I
going
thought you were getting my reference and I thought we were going to high five over the reference.
about the constant gun referencing.
No, the Dean Winchester.
He's from that show, right? With his brother, the other one.
Oh, Lord, which
Sam Winchester.
What?
Sam Winchester. His
That's
brother.
his name, Dean
Yeah.
and Sam. Yeah,
Yeah.
from Supernatural.
Oh, he's got
Hey.
there.
Never watched Supernatural.
Neither did I.
I'd go with Charles Emerson Winchester III from MASH.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Bringing it back.
So Dean had been stalked
Stalked.
by a big black dog.
Yeah.
Other slaves would say that they had been getting mysteriously locked out of doors and were seeing dead man's candles at night. These were balls of light that would be seen at the edge of the tree line, slowly moving toward the farmhouse without ever reaching it,
Mhm.
eventually just hovering in place. Obviously, John would be rattled by this, but would try to put it out of his mind as weird coincidences and occurrences. He wouldn't be able to do that for even one night.
That really does sound like a skinwalker. Have you heard of skinwalker, Sean?
I haven't.
That is a freaky story.
But it is very normal for people to see things
yeah.
abnormally at night time. There's
Yeah.
a great scientific explanation behind it
Yeah,
that I know a lot about. Fact checker Sean coming in.
people getting spooked.
Do we want to know?
Yeah, sure. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Two kinds of cells
brain.
in the eyes, rod cells and cone cells. Cone cells are directly in the middle. Like if you were pointing something straight in, they can take in the most amount of information, but they can only take in information when there's like lots of light and lots of actual information to take in. Rod cells are around the outside of the cone cells towards the back and the sides of the eye. They can take in fine detail in low light situations, but they need to be stimulated by a chemical known as rhodopsin, sometimes called visual purple, but it's known as rhodopsin.
That sounds like the girl from the Cinderella story from last week. Sean would know that if he had listened.
Now, rhodopsin, the way it actually activates these rod cells is a little bit like the hairs in your ears. To actually hear anything, they have to be moving. So it's why people see things in the dark, because the cone cells in the center of their eye can't see anything, which is why when you look at something in nighttime, you can't see it. But if you look off center, you can see it quite clearly because the rod cells are being activated as opposed to the cone cells. And also the rhodopsin that's activating the rod cells sometimes makes things look like they're moving because it's physically moving the cells in your eyes, activating them to try and help you see in the dark.
Getting the spook vision.
Yeah. Science.
Spooky
Cheeky
vision.
science.
It's like that thing in Assassin's Creed where he gets up and gets the eagle vision.
Eagle vision.
But it's just spooky.
Yeah. Can we do a little bit for that? Like cheeky science break. Pow, 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 or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Science,
Yes. Science, bitch. Like just, yeah.
No, I like that. Science, bitch.
Yeah.
Big stamp on the screen.
Science, bitch. We turn into like Sports Center. It's like, oh, the next like PTI. Welcome to the next segment. Plays the sound bite, and then I rattle off the sciencey bit.
As the family tried to sleep that very night, they started to hear strange and scary noises throughout the evening. They would start
The
hearing...
rod cells in their ears were activating.
They were vibrating.
I mean, the small hairs in your ears, yeah.
The cochlear hairs.
What tinnitus is.
Yep, it's when they all fold over. Be safe with your ears. Earplugs are not sooky.
Wear hearing protection.
Cheeky Tail says yes to protecting your ears.
Yes.
No to terrorism and no to slavery. They would start hearing scratching against the walls of the house.
Well, what are the other things we say no to? Guns.
Well, gun violence.
Gun violence. There's something else that we say no to. In particular. Gambling.
The 1930s.
Yeah, no to the...
Yeah.
Cheeky
No
Tail
to
says
the 30s.
no thank you to gambling, the 1930s, gun violence,
Terrorism.
We say absolutely, and slavery, and we
No
say
to slavery.
absolutely to hearing protection and and responsible pet ownership.
Yeah, get your pets neutered.
Get your pets registered.
And yes to Big Red.
Big
They
red
would-
gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't chew Big Red, then you. We also say yes to Talladega Nights. They would start hearing scratching against the walls of the house and then knocking on the doors of the home. A couple of times, John and the older sons would run outside to try and catch who was making the noises, but they never saw.
With their
That's all.
rifle. Where's
Always with a rifle.
If you're doing a nighttime check with a gun, just fire indiscriminately into the darkness. That's the best thing you can do.
Takes too long to load. It's 1817.
Yeah, true.
You got one shot
You only get one shot
one opportunity
to seize everything you ever wanted.
and kill an innocent
to
person.
capture it or let it slip.
Yo.
Is that the knees weak line? Is that his knees has sweaty? Mom's spaghetti.
Cut it.
Arms are
Cut
sweaty.
it.
There's vomit on his sweater already.
Mom's spaghetti.
He's
Nervous.
nervous.
But
Well,
on the surface,
he
he
looks
looks calm and ready to drop bombs.
But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down.
The whole crowd goes so loud.
John Savage, rap extraordinaire. I'm really disappointed in us for doing that, actually, because we
Yeah.
all suck
Let's
and
get-
are very aggressively
Yeah,
light.
that might
No,
might get cut or
No.
shortened.
I have no disillusion how bad that was. But I know the words.
It was pretty bad.
Over the next few days in the Bell household, the sounds would get worse through each night, becoming louder and lasting longer, until eventually they started to be heard from within the house itself. The Bell children would say that it sounded as though rats were gnawing on their bedposts, of course, without any rats being found inside. As it progressed, the family started to hear something invisible gulping and choking through the night, which I can't imagine was great to listen to
No.
as they tried to sleep.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, can you imagine? We think we hear that from the cats every so often.
Yeah, that's them. That's them vomiting. And then you jump out of bed to try and put something underneath to capture the spew.
Did I tell you about Stell's behind me in a meeting the other day?
No.
So I'm on a meeting with the UK, like the owners of our business, and they're running me through this portal. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, blah, 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 very business, very business. Stell's is laying across the desk in front of me. No,
Oh.
she just gets up, casually walks away like normal. I'm like, oh, okay. And then just in the doorway of my office, she's there just. Bree comes running to try and get her.
Hmm.
And she's like, oh, I can't walk in. Oh, no, I can't help. And then Stell's just all over the ground behind me. And like, I'm on this meeting the whole time. So I'm just sitting there like quietly muting myself.
Mm.
And then she came out here, tried to spew on the couch. Great times. Had to smell that until the end of the meeting.
I tell you what, my alarm will go off in the mornings and I'll snooze it a couple of times and I'll get very out of bed very slowly. I hear my cat starting to vomit. I'm out of bed, quick smart. I just need to change my alarm sound to that noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up.
Yeah, it'll get you.
Yep.
Things would escalate in the coming days as the children would start to experience their bed sheets being ripped off them by an unseen force, as well as their pillows smacking them in the face. The children were now being tormented so much they were unable to sleep in their own beds.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't actually happening, but the children believe that was happening, like having to deal with that, not fun as a parent.
Yeah, I can imagine. An especially unnerving escalation was when the entity developed a voice, a disembodied voice of a woman. It started to be heard throughout the house and would eventually become clearer, singing, quoting scripture, and having conversations with those that would speak to it. It would even start to name people in the house, showing more disdain for some members of the family than others. John Bell was now convinced that they were dealing with a witch and would set out to uncover the truth of what was harassing them. So yeah, at this point, it's basically just at night. They're just getting like hounded all every night.
Mm-hmm.
And so John's like, hey, let's get some of them there preachers from my church out here and we'll sort this thing out.
Yeah.
So they start showing up.
He was the elder at the church, wasn't he?
Yeah. And they are going to communicate with this entity. They would come to the home and call out to the entity, which would reveal when asked that its name was Kate. It also revealed another tidbit of information that would interest John Bell. Kate wanted to kill John Bell. So she's like, you, off with your head, mate.
Off with your head. To the guillotine.
To the guillotine. Which was in good use at this point, wasn't it? 1817?
1817. It was, about 17. No, because the Reign of Terror was only 13 months, so I think it was 1786, 87.
Yeah, so we're just outside of that.
Yeah.
When asked why she wanted to kill John, Kate would simply reply, he is a bad, bad man. After this, John would decide to consult with his best friend, James Johnson, as to what he should do. James obviously hadn't been around for much of what was going on and so was pretty skeptical when John explained what had been happening. James would ask to spend the night at his friend's house to see what was happening for himself. And as you would expect, that would turn out to be a bad idea. He would experience the noises, his bed sheets being ripped off him, and his pillows being thrown around.
Choking and gagging noises. That's all.
Honestly, the worst bit is the choking and gulping.
Just like, hey, Google, play choking noises at 1:30 a.m.
Don't allow that to happen. James would even be slapped by the spirit during the night. The spirit's just like, you, whack. The next morning, James would tell John that it was clearly an evil spirit and that he should continue to ask for help from the church.
When did he become an expert?
Also, I love how he's just like, yeah, probably just keep talking to the church, eh?
Yeah.
It's
just
like,
keep doing what you were doing. Yeah, thanks for your help.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You heard that one then.
Yeah.
Real eye-opener.
Despite John being the main target, Kate would torment other members of the family as well. Betsy would find herself the target of much of Kate's rage, feeling as though she was being stuck with needles, slapped and scratched across her back, and punched. This would go on for days, but sometimes the spirit would become suddenly nurturing, promising her that she wouldn't hurt her again, and Betsy even reporting being softly patted on the cheek. The bipolar spirit did seem to have an agenda with Betsy, though, being angered every time she spent time with her fiancé, neighbour Joshua Gardiner.
I feel like you missed an opportunity there. Bipolar spirit. I feel like you could have gone with bipolar poltergeist.
Bipoltergeist, yeah.
Bipoltergeist. Yeah, that's pretty good. The bipoltergeist spirit did seem to have an agenda with Betsy, though.
With the assist from Sean.
Mm-hmm.
The attacks against her would intensify after she saw Joshua, and Kate would make threats against the two. Eventually, the relationship between the two would be the first victim of the haunting, as Betsy would call off the wedding to try and protect herself and Joshua, as well as the rest of the family.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So it's not just an ex-girlfriend trying to break up a wedding or... Oh.
No. I do have some theories that I get into later.
Okay, cool. All right.
So, Kate is starting to become a bit famous by this point. As the attacks from Kate escalated, her fame would start to spread, with people from all over the region starting to want to get a feel for what was going on. People from all over Tennessee and Kentucky, in particular, would start to visit the farm to try and catch a glimpse of the activity brought on by Kate.
Ghostbusters 1817.
Ghostbusters!
Who are you going to call?
They're going to take 3 months to get there by horse and cart. This only seemed to make Kate stronger and gave the entity more opportunity to share what it was.
It's very similar to the Annabelle doll. Maybe like you.
I did think that, yeah.
It's another. Was that Spooky Spectacular #1?
Might have been number 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the movies.
Right.
It was number 2, I think. Annabelle was number 2.
No, it was part of the movies once, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yep.
Might have been.
The movie. It was a mentally because we had the movies, we had the skeletons in the lake, we had.
Still the grossest thing you've ever told me. Ugh. So, someone would ask Kate where she had come from, and the entity would reply, I am a spirit. Sorry. I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but I have been disturbed and made unhappy. Sean loved that. I am the spirit of a person who was buried in the woods nearby, and the grave was disturbed. My bones disinterred and scattered, and one of my teeth was lost under this house. I am here looking for that tooth.
Oddly specific. And
Yeah.
This was like a voice that come back. They weren't using a Ouija board or anything.
No. So basically, she was just trying to steal the tooth fairy's job.
Yeah.
Honestly, if a ghost said to me, hey, I just want to find my tooth under your house,
I'm digging up underneath the house.
I'd be like, all right, I'll help you out.
Yeah, I'll find
You
your tooth.
don't have to haunt me.
No, I don't have to slap me.
Like, I do have to go to work and I want to still have a social life, but I'll help you find the tooth.
The tooth isn't in the bed sheet. Stop ripping them off.
Yeah, you've checked here. And also, you didn't have to just ask. Like, you can obviously talk.
Stop trying to slap my tooth out.
You don't have
That's
to
my
spook
tooth,
me.
not yours.
I'm a nice guy. I'll just help you out. Yeah. In any case, Kate seemed to feed on the fear of those that came to visit, with the level of violence against those in the house and nearby increasing the more people came to visit. Some people would decide to try and test Kate, with one man in particular named Frank Miles asking to challenge the witch by staying the night.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, we've just finished saying we'd be super helpful.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, nah, you're a bit of a bitch, eh?
Well, again, drawing parallel to Annabelle. Remember that one bloke was like tested Annabelle out and then they had like a car accident on the way home?
Yeah.
He got seriously injured or died, one of the two.
Yeah. So Frank Miles claimed he was too big and strong, at 7 feet tall and 300 pounds, to be scared by the witch.
Sean,
Yes.
I know you're a skeptic,
Yes.
but in this situation, are you challenging a spirit? Are you taking that risk?
No, because I'm a skeptic, but I'm a scaredy cat.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't believe it. Don't think I want to risk it.
Yeah.
Why risk it?
I'm a 6'2" man with like pretty all right skills. I still don't walk down dark alleys, do I?
Nope.
Because I'm scared of the dark. Like, it's just what you do.
That's
I
what I mean.
dark
Like, that's
places.
why I asked you the question. You don't believe in it, but are you going to tempt it?
Nope.
Why take that risk?
What's there to be gained?
Still check the cupboards in my house when I'm home by myself. Still a skeptic. Still going to check.
Still runs out of the toilet when he flushes it.
Oh my God. So at one
Still-
point,
I still
or
check
when you turn the light off, you run out of the room.
Yeah. I still check I know all the specific light switches in my house. So if I need to go to the other end of the house, I know in what sequence I need to turn them on. I'm like bedroom light, then the hallway light, and then the one for the lounge room and the kitchen. That's the wrong one. The lounge room and the kitchen. And then around the corner to the toilet at the back of the house. Good. And then I turn them off in succession as I walk back.
I didn't know you were spooked by the dark.
I've always been spooked by the dark.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
My thing.
Except when I'm actually in the dark for long periods of time, then I'm all right.
I will tell you one thing about the dark that's, I wouldn't say a struggle, but like something that is difficult. Because we've had kids for such a long time, we've always had a light on at night for the kids. When they've been away and I've been at the house by myself, like sleeping with all the lights off in the house, like that hasn't happened in years. So it's very strange.
Yeah. My grandparents' house, you've been there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been. It's in Leichhardt. And it's like a big L shape. And it's like this old brick house. And during the day, fine. If it's nighttime, the house is like an L shape, right? This part is the bit that everyone lives in all the time. It's got the living room, the kitchen, the main bedrooms. This part is like a library, a rumpus room, garage, and 2 bedrooms.
So all the spooky rooms.
All the spooky.
It has a presence. Like, I don't like being out there alone, and I will not go out there alone if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
And everyone I've spoken to has said the same thing. Like, my grandparents were always fine in there, but my dad, my mum, my cousins, my aunties, they're all like, yeah, I avoid going out there. It's creepy. And I've never felt anything like that anywhere else.
There are places for me that I've been to that I felt uneasy in. The old mental hospice at the top of the hill in Ipswich, where the velodrome used to be.
Yep.
It's like a 3-story house.
Yep.
When I was working for the state government, the mental hospice had moved out to their new building, and we went in there to clear out some like stuff and whatever. And the whole place had a presence. Like, it was just creepy.
Yeah.
Mine comes from an absolute distrust of human beings.
Okay.
I'm like, I haven't checked this place, so the chances of some cracked out homeless person attacking me are far too high. Like, and that's my thing. It's like, I haven't physically checked or cleared this place, so I have no certainty that it is empty. You never know. I've bumped into too many homeless people or people that are just being nefarious over the years, and I'm just
my feeling kind of wasn't like that. It was more like stepping into like soupy air. Like, you could feel something.
That's what my grandparents' place was like. You can't put your finger on it. There's nothing that you can point to that is like, that's scary. It's just uncomfortable.
It's like, wading through like thick air type of thing. You just feel.
The tunnel in New Zealand.
Yes. Yeah, but I was having that feeling that you just described of like, I think there's somebody in the dark further.
Yep.
It wasn't that I couldn't put my finger on it. I knew. I feel like there's something further along in this tunnel.
Yep.
We went to this tunnel that was supposed to have glowworms in it. It was a 400 meter
Oh, it was long.
tunnel. It was just bored through a mountain
Pitch black.
as like a water.
Yeah.
Even during the day, pitch black.
Yeah. So we walked for like 40 minutes to get this thing, and we went inside. And as soon as we went in,
fly maggots.
We only had our phone lights, so they didn't.
Oh, so this wasn't like a ticketed thing.
No.
You just went and found
It's
this
just
place to go by yourself.
Yeah, it's on a hike. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
40 minutes from the town, like on a hike up into the mountain.
So we walked deep enough into it where we thought that there'd be glowworms, and
There's a couple.
yeah, we saw them. But I remember just saying to Sean, I don't want to be in here anymore. I'm worried about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
So we both turned around like big manly men
And ran.
got out of there very quickly.
It was also like 6 inches of water in the bottom of it, and we were avoiding getting our feet too wet.
Tide was coming in.
Yeah, no, it was raining. It's on the west coast. If you've ever been to the west coast of New Zealand, it basically just never stops raining.
Yeah, it was great. But then when we got out, we saw a deer on the road, and it was a lovely moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Patronus.
It's a hectic tunnel. For supplemental content, I can send you the photo that I took of you coming out of that tunnel.
Great photo.
Or alternatively, I think I got a photo on film of the creepy ass entrance to this creepy ass tunnel.
It's
quite a long tunnel. It's like several hundred meters long.
We probably got like 100 meters into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So what happened to old mate who tested the witch?
So the Bell family would agree to him spending the night, with Miles spending the evening in the spare room. It wouldn't even be a whole night before the Bell family were awoken by Miles' screams as he sprinted around the house, terrified of Kate, before he shut the door, never to return.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he shot out the door and he was gone. What a little bitch.
Yeah.
Another notable visitor to the home was none other than future President Andrew Jackson.
What?
Yeah. Who at the time was an army general. Not the same Jackson as from the song
I'm just
Ms.
trying to
Jackson.
I'm trying to take a wild guess at
RM4 eels. I saw this one meme one time that was a cartoon.
Ate 4 meals.
I was trying to have an educated guess of what number president he would have been.
Andrew Jackson is on the $20 note, $50 note.
Man, if only somebody could check that.
Yeah. It was in their title.
Slap GPT, could you check that for us?
Don't call me that.
What number president is Andrew Jackson?
I'm going to say he's in like the It's the 1800s, so I'm going to say he's in like the 20s.
I would have said 17th.
30s maybe.
He was the 7th US president.
Wow.
Is that it?
Yep.
Oh, I guess because the Civil War was only.
Yep. So he was the 7th US president, serving from 1829 to 1837. Before his presidency, he gained fame as a general in the US Army and served both houses of the US Congress. Often praised for his advocate of ordinary Americans and for his work in preserving the Union of States. Jackson also was criticized for his racial policies, particularly his treatment of Native Americans. Unsurprising.
And we stopped there.
3 of the Bell sons would serve under Jackson, which is how he heard of the haunting. And he would make the decision to visit the family farm in 1819. That's right, the haunting by this point had been going on for 2 years.
It's a long time.
That's a long time to not
just
get a good sleep.
When do you just burn the house down and build another house?
That's what I was thinking. Just move.
It is the $20 bill.
There you go.
Nice.
Just move. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's the 1800s. Just go somewhere and build something.
Chop a couple trees down and stand them up. You got a house.
Done.
Yeah.
Log cabin.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
Played Minecraft. I know what to do.
Mm.
I logged on. I've played.
Minecraft.
Did you say Mein Kampf?
No, not the book that Hitler wrote.
He said Minecraft with an accent and a rolled R.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, Sean joined this afternoon.
I love that video.
He downloaded Minecraft onto his laptop. He's one of us now.
I love that video. When the father gives the grandfather gives the present to the son, and he, what is this? It's Minecraft, the book that Hitler wrote. He's Minecraft, you idiot! Minecraft.
Surely that's staged.
Oh, it's so
Anyway.
funny. Andrew Jackson, did he run out like a little bitch too, holding his little bottom from being smacked by Kate?
Jackson wanted to investigate for himself.
I said bottom, Sean.
His little bottom. And he brought his men, horses, and large wagon to Red River.
Actually, I think this is the part I have heard that he rocked up with like a cavalry and
Yeah.
like a small army.
They didn't even need to reach the property before the fun started, with the wagon becoming inexplicably stuck on the road outside of town. Despite having no obvious breakage or being stuck on anything, the horses couldn't move the wagon an inch. After a few minutes, the witch would speak, audible enough for everyone in the group to say, "All right, General, let the wagon move on. I will see you again tonight." After this moment, the wagon was freed and able to move again.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
at that point, I'm gone.
Just turn around.
Yep.
Just turn
You
around
know
and go
what?
home.
I actually don't want to see you again.
Nope.
Yeah, this has been enough. Despite this, Jackson and the men continued on, possibly even more interested in what they were to find.
Yeah, no, this is the part I've heard. Yep. Continue.
They would never quite make it to the farmhouse, though, as they camped out for the night nearby, ready to head to the house in the morning. During the night, one of the members of the party decided to taunt the witch by telling everyone that he was a witch hunter
Idiot.
and that he was
Idiot.
going to take her down.
Why would you? Why would you? Why would you?
It's a story that sounds almost exactly like a horror movie.
Yep.
Like everyone that's like, yeah, I'm not scared of witches. They're the first one to die.
He's the first one to die.
Yeah.
Just put a target on yourself.
So this guy pulled out a pistol equipped with a silver bullet, maybe not, and tried to fire it into the woods as a warning. Strangely,
It's a witch, not a werewolf, you muppet.
yeah, I know. Strangely, it wouldn't fire, and no matter what he did to clean and rechamber it, he couldn't get it to go off.
And it only fired when he pointed at it himself and looked down the barrel.
Soon after, he would be struck by spasms in what would look like a seizure.
Mm.
Eventually, he would run from the camp, and the rest of the soldiers, Jackson included, would decide that's probably enough and escape from Kate in a run back to Nashville.
Good job, General. Future President of America.
And then he went on to have that very successful no witch policy.
Yeah. It's the 7th Amendment, isn't it? All witches shall be banned.
No witchcraft. Thank
No
you,
witchcraft.
please. The United States says no to witchcraft. It was now 1920, 3 years after the haunting had started. With all the attention on the property, the intensity of the attacks on the family had increased, seemingly with Kate gaining power from the attention of the community. Everything had clearly taken a toll on John Bell, but it would start to get worse as he started to experience strange sensations in his face, with tingling and the feeling of stabbing pains. He also started to experience difficulty swallowing, and eventually started having erratic and uncontrolled body movements.
So then he's the one that night making the noises.
Stop making those noises. It's too sexual. This is a family podcast.
What are you talking about? He's just choking on his own tongue.
The sounds you're making are too consistent in their.
Just because they're rhythmic, that
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
they're too consistent in their rhythmicness. No. Change it up a bit. Better.
1/3 of Cheeky Tail says no to choking noises.
Yeah. Sorry if you're choking on a peanut.
Yeah.
That guy's not going to help
Sean's
you.
not helping you.
It starts with P, doesn't end in nut, though.
Maybe it does.
Ooh.
Ah!
That's pretty good.
And we've got demonetized.
Yeah. We now have to put the explicit tag on our podcast.
You said it, Sean.
All right, so now our sponsorships have opened back up again.
Yeah.
We're taking Brazzers.
Welcome back from the break.
If you don't know what that is, don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
I mean, I don't know what it is. What is it, Sean?
Oh, righto, holier than thou.
John Bell was now 70 years old, almost as old as our John.
Oh.
And it was still being threatened by the unseen voice of
Have you
Kate.
got that written down?
No.
Oh,
No, that was off the dome.
yeah, lucky, because I would have taken personal offense if you had that written down.
I'm just deleting something. Don't worry. On December 19th, 1820, John
My birthday, 1820.
John would fall into a coma, and on the morning of December 20th, he would be found dead by the family in his bed.
Oh.
John
We're
Jr.
laughing, but
Yeah.
he just died.
Not so tee-hee now.
Mm.
John Jr. would be horrified to find a strange and unexplained black liquid in a vial in the room.
Ew.
And on finding the vial, the family would hear the laughter of Kate the Witch, and eventually her voice taking credit for John's demise by poisoning. The family would test the black liquid on a cat. Assholes. And eventually, for the cat,
Why would they put it there?
and unfortunately for the cat, the black liquid did indeed turn out to be poison.
Mm.
John's funeral would be one of the largest ever held in Robertson County, with people coming from miles away in the area. Many knew him personally, but many more knew him as the man who had been haunted by the witch. The funeral itself was a solemn affair, but as soon as it was over and people were leaving the venue, laughter could be heard from the trees nearby.
Cheesy, if you're watching. Sean, what's your yawn count at? 4? I think Apollo's is at about 7.
Yeah.
If they're getting caught on camera.
Yeah, 2 of them have been Apollo's fault.
He's been yawning non-stop over here.
I am weak to all forms of yawn chains. Bonnie yawns, I'm done.
Not long after the funeral, the family was sitting in the house and heard the voice of Kate telling them that she would be leaving now, but would be back in 7 years' time.
My work is done.
Yeah. Off you, Dad. See you in 7 years.
I'm going on vacay.
Yeah. I'm going to Bermuda.
Yeah. I'm going to the Hawaii beach, Honolulu beach for a little bit of relaxing.
Yeah, a bit of R&R.
R&H.
Relax and haunting.
And haunting.
Rest and haunt.
Rest and haunt.
Sure enough, the children would report that 7 years later, the same knocking, scratching, and shaking sounds would start to be heard. Oh, now I got the yawns. It wouldn't get to the same level, though, as it seems she just wanted to chat with John Jr. and make some noise this time, leaving and saying she would return in 1935. From here, the story starts to become hazy, as some say she never returned, and some descendants of the family say she never left. She just reduced the haunting activity. Today, many people flock to the old family farm to see the Bell Witch Cave, which wasn't really part of the original haunting, but is simply the only part of the property that would still look as it did back then.
Mm.
People report seeing and hearing supernatural spooky activity, though of course no definitive proof has ever been found. Time for some theories, I think.
Now that you mentioned that, like the return in 7 years, I have definitely heard this story before.
Yeah.
Since we got the cat here, do you ever get spooked out by your cats?
No.
Okay.
Because I know that they're just little idiots. So
But sometimes, like, the cat will be sitting there and the cat will be, like, sitting and, like, he's at attention at something and just staring into the top corner of the roof. There's nothing there. Like, what the hell are you staring at? And it gets even spookier when they go, like, I'm not sure. Yep, my headphones just dropped out.
you kick them out. Classic.
It's even spookier when they're, like, staring at something and then they, like, look like they follow something, and you're like,
Yeah.
there's nothing there. What are you watching or hearing or something like that? Yeah. So sometimes the kitty cats can get a bit spooky.
It's probably just a tiny bug.
Percy barks at nothing sometimes.
Yeah. Does it freak you out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because don't they reckon cats can see like ultraviolet?
Infrared.
I love the idea that animals can see more than we can, and they're just like, oh.
Or hear more or smell more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's like living in like Homo sapien bias that theoretically the only things that we can see or hear are the only things that exist for so long
Yeah.
has created such a weird sort of sensation of like, oh yeah, it's like the whole thing about dogs colorblind. No, they just see a different spectrum of colors
Yeah.
than we see. It's like they obviously can see some color, but it's like, no, they're colorblind. No, they're not. They just see different colors.
Color's a human thing.
Yeah, like that. Even this concept of visible light spectrum, that's just based off
Yeah.
the human
Our
eye.
eyes.
We have
Yeah.
no idea. Like we can theorize about,
Oh, the like spectrums we can't see.
but that's the
More
thing.
than what
Even
we can.
but even this concept of like color and where it intersects with the spectrum of photons and visible, that's something that we came up with.
Science, bitch.
Yeah, this science bitch moment, like that's just something that we came up with. Like it's not like we can't actually physically quantify this spectrum of light. Like that's just what this type of eyeball can see. It's not as if we're discovering, okay, this rock is this thing because this is a physical rock. Like we're talking about, we've created this spectrum of measuring light, and how many waves and formats is purely based on what we can interpret. If we can't interpret it, it's not there.
Mm.
All right, time for some
Theories?
Time for some spooky theories.
Well, I've only got two
Theories. Yeah.
because I think that only two of them really make sense.
Okay.
All right.
The first one is aliens.
No.
Oh.
Theory one is, of course, that it never happened
Oh.
and has been a fictionalized account that was written many years later. Most of the information we have on the haunting comes from a book that was written by Martin Van Buren Ingram in 1894 called, and this is what makes it seem so very true, Authenticated History of the
Ooh.
Bell Witch.
Authenticated.
It's a book and it says authenticated. Must be true. It was written 73 years after the end of the initial haunting, meaning not only was Ingram not there, he wasn't even born.
Correct.
He based his work on the diary of Richard Bell, one of the Bell children.
Dick Bell.
Yep. Who was born at the time of the haunting and didn't, who was a boy at the time of the haunting and didn't even write down the events until 30 years after they occurred. Additionally, Andrew Jackson's whereabouts in 1814 to 1820 are very well documented, and at no time is a visit to Robertson County mentioned. There is also no mention of John Bell's death in any historical record, so there is no way to verify the events that transpired around his death.
Okay.
Theory 2,
It actually did happen.
my personal favourite.
Oh.
Okay, so there's three theories. Third theory, it's all true.
Yeah.
But theory 2, and my personal favourite, is that the whole thing was fabricated by the Bells to try and get someone killed.
Isn't this just the... Oh, okay.
This whole ordeal
Okay.
happened
Oh.
not long after the period where women would be killed for just the accusation of being a witch.
Yep.
You may remember that the spirit had said its name was Kate.
Kate.
Well, John Bell had a neighbour called Kate Batts, who was already viewed with suspicion of witchcraft for strange behaviour.
And
She-
they had a feud.
She also had a brother-in-law, Benjamin, who had a business deal go south with John Bell in the past. The business deal just happened to be over the sale of a slave, so they're all just pieces of While Kate obviously denied all accusations that she was involved in witchcraft, it seemed too good of a coincidence that the witch was called Kate. My theory is that John had created the story to discredit and potentially have killed Kate Batts to make up for the deal that went south with her brother-in-law. Perhaps the rest of the story grew from John's lies, with the failure to have her killed causing him to escalate the stories he told until his death.
That makes sense because, like you said, it became very famous. A lot of people travelled to hear, like to see it and experience it.
The other theory that I came up with while we were recording this episode.
So then, did actually the other people, or were they like, because there was the one person who was John's best buddy.
Yeah.
He could potentially be in on it to say,
Yeah.
yep. But there were the other were they randos that just come and visited?
Yeah, but like it'd be pretty easy to spook someone in your own house.
Yeah, fair
especially
enough.
back then.
Yeah, fair enough.
But my other theory that I came up with while we were recording, Betsy. What if John just didn't like Betsy's partner? Like, what if he just didn't like Betsy's fiance?
Oh, they broke him up. Yeah.
And so he's like, well, let's just spook her out so much that she calls it off.
But then why continue it?
Wasn't the ghost saying that she was haunting for the point of Betsy to be engaged to Gardner, the neighbor?
No, she was haunting against the engagement. Like, things got worse when she spent time with him, and
Okay.
like she would say things to her about it.
But then why continue it after they'd broken up?
Maybe it was just a little fun game.
Okay.
Or maybe it was a combination of both. Maybe he was like, oh, maybe I can get this Kate woman killed and I can also get Betsy to break off her engagement.
Yeah. Okay.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yep.
Whatever the case, the Bell Witch story has continued to fascinate those with a supernatural interest, and many still tell the story to this day as an example of why you should just leave in these situations rather than stick it out to the bitter end. Also, I'm pretty sure the gift shop at that cave does pretty well. And that,
What do they sell? Black vials or?
I would assume that they sell all kinds of crap.
Yeah, okay.
But that is the story of the Bell Witch.
And if you heard that buzz, that was Kate making an appearance on that
So
episode.
spooky. I went and saw a Scream film this year.
Did ya?
Yeah, that's the only spooky thing I've done. And that's not even spooky, that's just a slasher.
I don't do spooky.
Scream is good because it's just a slasher.
I don't. Saying that, I did play the Dead Space remake this year, so I do spooky.
No.
No? Sean says no. Sean says no to Dead Space.
Hell no.
Put it on the list for cheeky plays. Sean plays Dead Space.
Sorry.
At night.
Get the beat button ready, but hell are we playing Dead Space?
No. There's no we. It's you.
Nope.
And I'm
0% chance.
And we're going to be on the couch next to you watching you play.
You got a better chance of me going to work carrying a foam Minecraft sword than me playing Dead Space.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Supplemental video.
You got a
You
better.
can choose the foam Minecraft diamond sword to take to work, or play 1 hour of Dead Space.
I said you got
The Minecraft movie is coming out.
I
This
said
could be
you-
a sponsorship
Oh, yeah.
opportunity.
I said you got a better chance, not what are the chances. Like you got a better
Well, it sure sounds like you've only got 2 choices.
No, put that on the list. Sean playing Dead Space is going to be coming out.
Sean has to finish the Dead Space game, or he has to wear a Minecraft backpack to work every day for a year.
Once we get the cheeky plays stuff up and running.
That's a fun concept.
I've barely used the same clippers for a year, let alone take a Minecraft backpack to work for a year.
We'll just play Dead Space then.
Yeah, all you have to do is finish Dead Space.
You don't
What
even
happened to an hour?
you don't even have to buy it. It's on Game Pass.
What?
Yeah.
What happened to an hour? Why is it
This
finished
escalated
now?
very quickly.
You know, I'm playing those aliens and stuff. It's spooky.
Okay.
And I don't like
Aaron's played Dead
zombies and
Space.
aliens. It's awful.
Aaron hasn't played the first Dead
I played a
Space.
little bit of Dead Space.
Aaron played the Dead Space 3 demo with me.
Yes.
Don't like
That
jump
was
scares.
terrible.
No,
Full
never
of
do
jump
I.
scares.
Okay, what about Bioshock?
Don't like Bioshock. I
All
didn't,
I'm hearing is a lot of games
There's
that
a
are going to have
couple-
to make sure
look,
I play.
I didn't mind Bioshock Infinite. I didn't like
It
the
is-
first two.
No, Bioshock Infinite is not spooky. The first Bioshock is a spooky game.
Yeah, I played about a third of it and went, this is awful.
All I'm feeling
If you're looking
is-
to get some spooks, hit up Bioshock or Dead Space.
I'm feeling an Idiot Abroad style show where
Yeah.
Sean has to play games that he definitely doesn't want to
Mm.
play.
It just feels like it's going to turn into me doing things that make me uncomfortable.
Do you know what's
Or just riles me up in general.
Do you
So
know-
it's going to be an endless show.
what's going to be a good one for jump scares for Sean?
What?
There's an old game called Fear.
Oh,
First,
yeah.
Come on.
first encounter action response unit or something like
I
that.
remember that game.
Yeah.
Maybe we just get him playing Slender Man.
No, I don't like anything to do with that Slender Man stuff.
Yeah, it was all very
I don't
jump
like.
scare.
It's
I don't like
all-
Slender. I don't like Slender.
I don't like Slender Man.
It's all, I don't even like the Babadook movie. I don't like any of that super spooky. Just, it makes my skin crawl. Oh, I hate it. I'm a skeptic, but I hate it.
Doesn't sound like he's very much of a skeptic.
No,
No,
I'm
it
a
sounds like he's got a healthy appreciation for what he doesn't have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm a skeptic, but I hate all that spooky stuff. I don't like watching it or experiencing it. But I'm a skeptic, you know.
What about the first Alien movie?
No. I don't like horror movies. It's a horror movie.
Horror movie or thriller?
Horror.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's more like a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Anyway, at Cheeky Tales Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Sean plays Alien Isolation.
At Cheeky Tales Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I refuse to call it X again. I've decided. Hello, buddy.
Be there for the intro, mate.
We will have some supplemental content there.
He's so high. Look at him.
Poor little buddy.
He's had some medication this afternoon, so Apollo is a little bit
Off his nuts.
stoned.
Demonetized again.
On that ganja. We will be back in a fortnight. We will have another episode. It'll be John's episode.
Yeah.
And I guess we will see you then.
Will we have an episode, or are we just going to release a video, Sean playing Dead Space?
Just an hour of Sean screaming. Either way, we will see you then. It's not going to be Sean screaming.
That's not going to be Sean screaming. Or playing Dead Space.
Good spooky night, chiquitos.
Ooh, so spooky. Good night.
0% spooky. Fine, so spooky.